coming across the series in 2009, Fallout quickly became one of, if not my all-time favourite franchise. While I consider myself a big fan of the series though, I'd never gone back to its roots. I'd never played the classic Fallout titles. That changes today though. Welcome to How Bad Can It Be, the series where we look at games so you don't have to. And yes, today we're looking at Fallout. Released in 1997, Fallout was developed by Blackout Studios and is published by Bethesda Softworks. So for all of you people in the comments right now typing, actually it was published by Interplay, don't worry, I'm well aware. But we're looking at the Steam versions of Fallout 1 and 2, where Bethesda Softworks is listed as the publisher after they received the rights in 2004. With that out of the way though, let's jump right in. For those new to Fallout, I'm going to do a quick rundown of the lore. If you're already familiar with the Fallout lore and just want to get on with the review however, please feel free to skip ahead to the indicated time on screen. The world of Fallout is set in a fictionalized version of the United States, with a timeline splitting from our very own post-World War II. In this world, America's focused on harnessing the atom, with fission generators powering everything from cities to cars. This uranium fever didn't stop there, however, with the development of atomic-powered robots, B-movie-style energy weapons, suits of power armor, and perhaps most infamously, nuclear artillery. There's even radioactive isotopes in this world's popular cola drink, so it's easy to see that people love that radioactive good stuff. Sounds like a great time, right? Well, it was. That was until 2077, where the Great War occurred, where all nuclear-capable countries joined a 2-hour Holocaust program and proceeded to eradicate each other with nuclear weapons until all that was left was wasteland. The apocalypse didn't mean the end of humanity though, as many American citizens went to underground vaults for their protection. While there is way more to the lore of Fallout, for the sake of video length I have to keep it short. Links to more in-depth breakdowns are in the description though. In Fallout you play as a dweller from Vault 13. Your overseer has sent you out into the wasteland to collect a water chip as Vault 13's malfunctioned. With 150 days to save everyone he knows, the Vault Dweller, armed with some basic supplies and a wrist-mounted computer called the Pip-Boy, ventures out into the wasteland of Southern California. Without giving you a walkthrough or spoilers, that's really all I can say about these kind of games. A lot of the experience and the journey is what you make of it yourself, and I really don't want to take that away from you. What I can say is that there's plenty of quests and side quests for you to sink your teeth into, but be warned, this is an old game, so it might not always be clear what you need to do. So when you go to quest locations etc, keep an eye on the little text box down there, as it will usually tell you all you need to know. The most noticeable difference between the classic franchise and its modern counterpart is the visuals. Blackout's Fallout, unlike Bethesda's iteration, uses the older isometric perspective. Or well, technically it doesn't. You see, a lot of older games couldn't show true isometric perspectives due to the limitations of graphics and CPU power. Instead, what we see in a lot of older games is a form of diametric projection, or in the case of Fallout, trimetric projection. True isometric projection is where the three axes of space, that being X, Y and Z, all appear to be equally foreshortened with a common angle of 120 degrees between them. Diametric projection is where only two of those axes appear to be equally foreshortened, and trimetric projection is where none of them are equally foreshortened. Due to this perspective losing popularity over the years, it does mean that this game hasn't aged the best graphically and looks its age when initially playing it. This isn't necessarily a bad thing though. When playing, I got the feeling that I'm playing a classic video game, something that I can't say the same thing about when playing older FPS titles. While I drove this up to the niche perspective, it made my experience more enjoyable. What wasn't so impressive however was the audio. While it was cool hearing some of the Fallout sound effects like the VATS noise, it's pretty evident that we have come a long way, as the little voice acting there is in this game doesn't hold up at all. The music, while better than the voice acting, isn't great either. Seemingly Egyptian inspired, it's really jarring to the world that you're in. I like how this game feels like it could easily be a tabletop RPG. This is due to the game originally using a tabletop system. The generic Universal Role-Playing System, or GURPS, was designed for any settings, and Black Isle originally made Fallout using it, before Steve Jackson Games, GURPS' publisher, pulled out of the deal, citing Fallout's violence and gore as an issue. This led to the now known Special system being created, which I definitely think was a good choice. Despite the new system though, Fallout does still keep that traditional RPG vibe, and I think I really like it. This can be felt throughout the game too, with the barter system feeling a lot more organic than in newer titles. It's hard to explain, as it's essentially the same in layout, but something about these characters being able to turn down deals that aren't good makes them feel more alive. These characters also feel realer when trying to do an evil deed. Stealing from someone in this game can be a necessity due to the shortage of resources you have. So something as simple as opening a locked door that you shouldn't, or searching a shelf that belongs to someone, can have drastic consequences, as the societies you explore turn against you for your crimes. While this is the same in newer games, the isometric view captures the gravity of your deeds excellently, showing you all the danger you'll now face for your actions. With Fallout being an old game too, this means there's no save you by autosave, so if you cause a problem, you might have to backtrack 30 plus minutes to solve it. Granted, you can save before your actions, but if you're like me and are a newer gamer, you'll probably forget once or twice. Then we have what is the best and worst part about this game: combat. The classic games have a D&D/XCOM approach to this. Combat is turn-based and operates off a D&D style action point system. Each turn you're given a limit of AP, and the weapons that you use all have different AP values. You, as the player, then have to balance your combat AP usage with movement and opening your inventory. This creates a much slower and more tactical experience, which I'm personally 50-50 on. Part of me really loves it, but part of me did eventually get tired with the pace. But it was admittedly pretty fun to experience the roots of VATS and seeing how it's evolved. You're probably wondering why I mentioned XCOM, and that, my friend, comes in the form of Fallout shooting. You see, when in combat mode, you have accuracy percentages. The closer an enemy is to you, the easier it is to hit them. Oh well, that's the idea, because these percentages seem to be complete rubbish, with your character, despite having high skills and high percentages to hit, missing constantly. This can lead to interesting situations, like this one, where I'm aiming at a guard and hit an ally. This, like in XCOM, is absolutely infuriating, especially when you have to leave enemies get close, have limited HP, and barely any meds to heal yourself with. Oh, and to top off the combat in this game, if you're with a companion who is on low health, like Ian in my scenario, the game will lock you into the combat mode despite you killing all the enemies. The only way to fix this is by leaving the area you are currently in, meaning you will have to slowly grind your way to the exit grid, moving at about 8 steps at a time, contemplating why on earth you're wasting your time playing video games with each passing step. It's not good. I guess that leaves me with one question. Fallout. How bad can it be? While this game certainly has its flaws, it's an experience I'm glad that I decided to undertake nonetheless. I've really had a lot of fun going back to the roots of Fallout and seeing how it's evolved, and I'm very excited to start taking it further. Fallout currently sits on Steam for about £7.99, and while it's definitely worth that in terms of its quality, due to its age, I'm going to have to recommend you pick this one up on sale if you're a newer gamer, as this game can be a little bit frustrating, especially to younger gamers. At the time of recording, Fallout is at a healthy 92% Steam rating, and whilst the game is certainly great, I don't know if I can justify giving it that high of a score. Between the weird audio, the slow pace, the weird combat bug, this game was looking at a nice 8.5 out of 10, but of course, that does mean it had a 95% chance of hitting that 8.5 and missed, which means it got an 8 instead. But still, you know, it's very commendable for a game that's 21 years old. It's pretty good. Well, that's all I got time for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not consider giving a like? If you didn't, the thumbs down is right there beside it, and leave a comment down below. Let me know basically your thoughts on it. Have you played Fallout before? That's another thing. If you've played this game before, leave your thoughts down below. It's good to have like a bunch of opinions on one place. I want to like cultivate opinions, so anyone who's potentially going to buy the game can get more than just my thoughts on the matter. If you haven't played Fallout before and are interested in playing it, don't worry. At the top of the description you can find links to Steam and other distributors depending on your preference. Subscribe today for future VividChim content, make sure you ring that bell to keep notified for it, and of course if you want more content right now, there should be videos appearing on screen, one of which is my newest upload other than this one, and then to the other side you can find my playlist for How Bad Can It Be, where you can look at a variety of games of a variety of qualities. As always, I've been Kin from VividChim, and I'll see you all soon.